All of these events are free, but seating is limited, so you must register in advance at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can find all the details you need about each event.
Check it out.
It's our 4th anniversary, and we would love to celebrate it with you.
I love you guys so much. There's nothing you can do about it.
We're KBLA Talk 1580.
The only black talk radio station west of the Mississippi.
Thank you for having our black.
Happy anniversary, KBLA!
We love you. Love you.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss it. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn!
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
So, good evening to everyone, and thank you, Swamiji, for inviting me here to this truly inspiring symposium. It's so nice to be in the company of people who are not sectarian. Such a relief. So, indeed, over the next 2 days, we will be going through this text by Palden Atisha. Atisha was born in 982 in Bangladesh, which at that time was called Bengal. And apparently he was the son of a king, and in due time he left home and became a monk, and eventually became a great scholar. He also went to Sumatra in Indonesia and spent 12 years there studying these Lojong texts. This Lojong, it means mind, it literally means mind training, but it's much more to do with training your attitude or training the heart. It's not an intellectual thing, really. So after coming back from Sumatra, he was told by his particular personal deity, the Bodhisattva, the Buddha, Tara, that he should go to Tibet. But he was, by this time, he was quite elderly. I mean, he was probably around 60. And to go in that time all across the Himalaya mountains into this, what was regarded as a very barbaric country. So he resisted. And meantime, in western Tibet, a king named Yeshe had invited him to come to Tibet, and he said, "No, I'm too old, I can't come." And so then Yeshe, meantime, was attacked by outside forces and taken prisoner and put up for ransom for a certain amount of gold. And so his son, Changchup collected the ransom, and then his father, who was, kidnapped, he said, "Don't give the money for my life. I'm too old anyway, it's not important. Take that gold and offer it to Atisha and tell him that, what the reason we managed to collect this much amount of gold for him." So they did that, and meantime the king was beheaded. And so they went to see Atisha again. They explained to him the sacrifice of the king in order that Atisha would please come to Tibet. So then, of course, what could Atisha do? And so he then went to Tibet, And he stayed there until his death in 1052. So he lived to be about 70. He lived for about 10 years in Tibet, and he had an enormous effect on Tibetan Buddhism, actually. And personally, I do now feel that what kept Tibetan Buddhism on the straight track was the influence of Palda-Natisha Choho Atisha. He really was a very, very important event in the history of Tibetan Buddhism. So we are going to go through this text. He of course, wrote several books and commentaries which are very famous in Tibet, but this is quite short and manageable. The point with this text is that one doesn't have to be a Buddhist. It is, I think it's a very, it just covers the spiritual life.
And the reason why this Buddhist text is important, because it goes back to the great work of Krishnamurti. When Krishnamurti talks about having a vacant mind. See, the reason why the past, right, is so alluring is because it happened, or what happened in our formative years also contributed to our sense of self. So even if it's fractured, disjointed, inconsistent, it becomes what Krishnamurti called the known. And this is why his first book and probably seminal work is called Freedom from the Known. And I've been saying it for a long time. Many people will go back to their known, no matter how toxic it may be. But that's only one scenario when thinking of reconciling with an ex-partner. If the partner, and I've always asked, if the partner is better, if everything you complained about them, right, they outgrew, they evolved from, and everything that was perceived as a shortcoming within yourself was transcended and transmuted, and you organically come back into the same orbit, would it be a bad idea? As Truemonger elucidated in his story, man, his parents had him on the second go round. The question now becomes, could the second go round be even better than the original experience, right? Could it be even better? But it's difficult to say because many people are self-unaware. And in being self-unaware, what you brought into the first iteration of the relationship, chances are you will bring that to the second iteration of the relationship. Self-awareness is the key, right? Once you become aware of what it is that makes you undateable and unrelatable, once you become aware of your potentially insecure attachment style, once you become aware of how that attachment style or a mother wound or a father wound or any type of dysfunction that molded you from your beginnings, once you become aware of that, now you're responsible for it. You're the caretaker of it, and that's the self-work. Remember, many people make the relationship work more important than the self-work. But the reason why there's so much relationship work is because self-work is ignored. Do you see? So you put the onus on the partner and the relationship to do the work. That's why marriage is work. Relationships are work. But what if you were individuated? Would they be as much work? Do you see? So it makes perfect sense to me that if someone was, doggedly dedicated to transcending the broken mold that they came from, right? The broken mold. This goes back to my relationship dismount book when we talk about the practice of kintsugi or kintsukuroi, golden joinery. To recap, samurais loved tea. And one famous samurai had a favorite teapot, and the teapot was accidentally broken by an assistant. Right? This is 2015. This is 10 years ago I wrote this. Right? The samurai says, hey, guess what? I'm going to kill you. If the artisans can't put this thing back together, I'm going to kill you. Because this was my favorite teapot. So all of the artisans got together in a think tank. How do we put this thing back together to satiate the samurai? So they had a couple of attempts, and a few people lost their heads. They put it back together with staples. That's not going to do it. It was a beautiful teapot. So then one artisan had the grand idea, hey, what if we piece this puzzle back together and join it with gold? So the adhesive was mixed with gold powder. And now every broken crack was filled with gold. It was so beautiful. It was more, listen to what I'm about to say. It was more beautiful after having been broken. See, sometimes that reconciliation can be more beautiful after having been broken. Do you see? That's where the individuation piece comes from. Every crack put together with gold. Now it looks like gold veins in a jade pot. It became so popular, people started breaking their dishes just so they could rejoin them with gold. But here's the problem with most folk. Most folk put themselves back together after the breaking of a relationship with the adhesive of resentment. Get back. Right? Anger, despondency. Right? Insecurity, all of it. What are you rejoining your brokenness with? The gold lacquer or the gold adhesive of self-forgiveness? The gold adhesive of self-acceptance, the gold adhesive of self-awareness, the gold adhesive of accountability. What are you putting your broken pieces back together with? This is why it is very difficult, right, to rehash a relationship as the same person who broke the relationship. Do you see? Do you hear me? Is it resonating? 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. How might anxious, preoccupied attachment to an ex mirror the Stockholm synapses of systemic oppression, where loyalty to captors, past hurts, feels safer than freedom? Could reconnection serve as exposure therapy, rewiring neural pathways by confronting triggers together? Or merely rehearse old wounds? Babette Rothschild. What unmet childhood needs, inner child work, compels you to seek completion in someone who already failed to meet them. 1-800-920-1580. Do you see? Is reconciling with an ex-karmic digestion finally metabolizing a lesson your soul left unfinished, or spiritual procrastination? If relationships are mirrors, according to Murty, what unresolved shadow self do you see reflected in this person's eyes? Does unconditional love, according to Carl Rogers, require releasing the ex as a character villain in your story, or revising the narrative to include their flaws? Can erotic bonds become ancestral offerings, transmuting shared pain into generational wisdom, according to Queen Afua? Do you see where I'm going? We don't think enough about our relationships. We just think it was cool. There was parts of it that was cooler than the parts that wasn't cool. Let's get down with each other again. No. Who have you become in my absence? Do you see? It's not even a conversation if you don't come back off of the hero's journey transformed. When Luke Skywalker comes back home, he's a fully realized Jedi. You have to come back as a fully realized Jedi. The child, the small child that we were when we were together. We can't come back as that child. When we come forward, guess who's going to the phone lines?
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-237-8585. That's 800-237-8585. Again, that's 800-237-8585.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-729-7070. That's 1-800-729-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
You know, a lot of times what you all don't realize or believe is that you have the power. Every woman I ever dated had the power over me in a good way. But I feared that she had it over me because I felt like I was weak. Instead of being a good partner, I was a bad person. So what happens is every time you allow a person to come back over and over and over and over again, you're not only teaching them how to treat you, but you let them come back and you accept them and you think that they're getting better, they're changing. It doesn't happen that soon. They have to go away and leave you alone and respect you, respect your boundaries, and say, hey, look, I'm going to leave you alone for 6 months till I get myself together, Lisa or Tanya. What happens is not only do you teach them how to treat you when you let them come back, you're telling them that you would never, ever leave them. So that's why they keep coming back. You have to change that narrative and change the way they see you and change the way how they feel about you and make them respect you.
Hell to the no. We got to play that one more time. Because that was hot monkey grease right there. Who is that, Andy? This is my first time hearing it too, ladies and gentlemen. Who is that? Leon Walker Jr.? No, he got to hit us one more time. One more time.
You know, a lot of times what you all don't realize or believe is that you have the power. Every woman I ever dated had the power over me in a good way. But I feared that she had it over me because I felt like I was weak. Instead of being a good partner, I was a bad person. So what happens is every time you allow a person to come back over and over and over and over again, you're not only teaching them how to treat you, but you let them come back and you accept them and you think that they're getting better, they're changing. It doesn't happen that soon. They have to go away and leave you alone and respect you, respect your boundaries, and say, hey, look, I'm going to leave you alone for 6 months till I get myself together, Lisa or Tanya. What happens is not only do you teach them how to treat you when you let them come back, you're telling them that you would never, ever leave them. So that's why they keep coming back. You have to change that narrative and change the way they see you and change the way how they feel about you and make them respect you.
Now, here's the rub. Many of us choose to leave people alone. We're calling it boundaries, but really we're afraid of what messing with them will reveal. Oh, I know you didn't want to hear it put that way. Because most of the times our most difficult relationships reveal the most about who we are. Our most comfortable relationships conceal the most about who we are, for the most part. This is why we use standards as boundaries. Oh, no, Zoe, don't do that. Yeah, because when you're unhealed, those unhealed wounds are co-authors of your boundaries and standards. So now all you're doing is looking at the end result of how they behave. And usually that's predicated on not trespassing across a wound. See, sometimes these difficult relationships exposes you. I told you, if relationships are a mirror, you're being reflected back to you. Now, I'm not saying go back and get with the toxic person, the abusive person. I'm saying sometimes it might benefit you to go back to the person that challenges you. See, many of us break up with folks who challenge us. We will label challenging us as abusive, as obstinate, as stubborn. I know you're not ready for that, right? Let me ask the question this way. When you ask what makes you feel safe, are you mapping their amygdala or your own? According to Porges and polyvagal theory, are you mapping your amygdala where the strong emotions are? See, all this is self-awareness, and so many people are not self-aware. So the person has to capitulate and conform to what the wound demands. When you ask what makes you feel safe, are you mapping their amygdala or yours? When we come forward, I'm going back to the phone lines. I'm going down to the South. You already know what it is.
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Former President Biden's press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, who is Black, says she's left the Democratic Party and is now independent.
What I have decided to do, and I really have thought long and hard about this, is to follow my own compass. And that's what I've done. And that's what this book does.
In her book titled Independent, out October 21st, she details Biden's decision to end his re-election bid. A friend of Cassie Ventura testified that Sean Diddy Combs once told her he was the devil and could kill her. Brianna Bongolan says he also held her over a 17-story balcony in 2016. This comes as a video expert reviewed footage allegedly showing Diddy assaulting Cassie. And Black Texas Rep. Jasmine Crockett is running to lead the House Oversight Committee, calling herself a fresh voice to challenge the GOP. In a letter to colleagues, she warned of an existential crisis under current leadership. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Tired of feeling alone in your job search? With just one connection, you can find endless job opportunities. That connection is Express Employment Professionals. Don't go it alone. Visit expresspros.com to find the location nearest you. That's expresspros.com.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. You ready?
Somebody make some noise in this joint. KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates its 4th anniversary this year on Juneteenth.
Here we go again.
Hello. Hard to believe 4 years has gone by so fast.
Oh my God.
But here we are, still standing, still loving and serving our people as best we can.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
To celebrate our 4th anniversary, we have 4 big events, and you're invited to all of them.
She got a lot to say. Let's do this.
Let's get it on! On Wednesday, June 18th, we go live on C-SPAN for the 2nd consecutive year with our Climate Justice plus Black Health Symposium. Tavis Smiley will moderate an all-star panel of thinkers and influencers as we continue our vitally important climate justice work.
Hey, Tavis Smiley, talk about
On Thursday, June 19th, you're invited to join us as we celebrate Juneteenth and our 4th anniversary. There will be plenty of food, fun, great music, good vibes, and all of your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts will be there.
Yeah, man.
Flip the beat. On Saturday, June 21st, there are 2 big events you're invited to attend.
I can't wait to hear it.
This year, KBLA Talk 1580 continues its annual partnership with the Empowerment Congress for a community celebration and dialogue to educate, engage, and empower. This year's theme is resilience in the face of chaos.
Can't wait to see what's up next.
Y'all ain't ready for this.
And new this year is our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium, moderated by Dominique DePrima, with a luncheon to follow. Dominique will be leading a dialogue with some of the most impactful Black women leaders in Los Angeles, and you're invited to join.
This is it.
All of these events are free, but seating is limited, so you must register in advance at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can find all the details you need about each event.
Check it out.
It's our 4th anniversary, and we would love to celebrate it with you.
I love you guys so much. There's nothing you can do about it.
We're KBLA Talk 1580.
The only black talk radio station west of the Mississippi.
Thank you for having our black.
Happy anniversary, KBLA!
We love you.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
New Always Pocket Flex Foam will change the way you think about pads. Get full-size protection in a surprisingly tiny pack that fits right in your purse or pocket. Perfect for life on the go. With up to 0 leaks, 0 feel, and 0 bunching, you'll forget you're even wearing a pad. And Always Pocket Flex Foam is designed to adapt to your body, so you can move freely and confidently throughout your day. Experience the future of period protection with new Always Pocket Flex Foam. Pick up your pack today.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
feel that women that chase men or beg or bring themselves into a place, belittle themselves almost for a man, it's embarrassing for me. To me, that's very embarrassing. And so I did not want to be in that place of being embarrassed. So even though my heart wanted to beg, wanted to, ask you all of the questions of why and we can work this out and, I'll do better, whatever the case may be that women go through after a breakup like that, that you were expecting more, my mind said, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to maintain a certain posture. You're not going to go calling, beeping, texting, whatever the case. It was beep pagers then. So, we had the reader pagers and all that. And you're not going to send all these messages. You're not going to drive by his house. You're not going to do that.
Dangerous message. Not all women are anxious, preoccupied, and thus chasers. We got to stop universalizing women who chase. Listen, some people are chasing something bigger than just the person, right? They may have been conditioned to chase. Listen, everybody you meet is a skillet. What? Yeah, like Big Mama's cast iron skillet under the stove. That skillet has been seasoned. Look at seasoned skillets, right? Or people as seasoned skillets. That seasoning is conditioning. And when you don't know, you can't just, women should stop chasing. Don't universalize the statement. Okay? Every person you've ever met is conditioned with something. Okay? All right? Yes, chasing is not good for either gender, male or female, men or women. How about that? Okay? We got to stop creating these, unidirectional guilds to protect one gender, right? They looked at all black people as, well, they have a higher tolerance for pain. That's how the medical system looked at everybody. Sure, you can cut into them without anesthesia. They can take it. That's how the medical system looked at black folk. Not just black women, but black men too. Such a fragmented society, and we frame our arguments in this way as well. It's really ugly. But back to the topic. Can two people re-meet, or do they merely project revised fantasies onto old scaffolding? Right? You got to tear down the old scaffolding. You got to tear it down. You have to become anew in order to renew. Listen, somebody meme it. You have to become anew in order to renew. Any relationship can be renewed when you become anew. When you free yourself from that seasoning, right? From the conditioning. Does that make sense? 1-800-920-1580. We got Davey Lee from Arkansas in the building. Davey Lee, one of my favorites. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic, my friend?
Personally, man, I think it's a great topic for what I'm going through right now. But
well, tell me about it. What you going through?
It's kind of personal, man. I don't want to.
You my brother, man. What? How can I help you?
Well, okay, I'll give it to you then. I'll be talking about little situations with my mother or whatever, but she has schizophrenia, like bipolar disorder. So today we had to bring her to the hospital. You hear me? So it's just certain things people go through. Sometimes you gotta not renegotiate, but sometimes you gotta go through things in order to properly get it get it right. You hear me? Like a sort of sense of spiritual atonement, maybe. You know, sometimes you got to revisit or revise certain chapters in order to move properly with them. You know, so you can have more sense of care, more sense of urgency. Sometimes more sense of understanding about somebody else as well as yourself. So maybe that's what it's about sometimes. You know, I wouldn't advise nobody to go back to a past relationship, but I don't know what they've been through to make them close. So, it is what it is. You got to think about it is sometimes the comfortability of the connection, but at the same time, when you share something with somebody, you can't tell nobody they're wrong or right. So, they're going to thug it out if they want to.
So I have a question for you because you're my brother. You're not just a voice on the radio.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to give you my email address, but I'm going to ask you a direct question, my friend. How can I support you? Because that's not easy. When I hear you speak, I hear the voice of one of my closest friends, my brother. We've been best friends since we were 12, and he is caretaking his mother, has been for the past 10, 11, 12 years. He did the same for his father. And she has dementia, and she just turned 99 years old, right?
That's a blessing.
And I'm in support of my brother. I check on him every day because he doesn't have a lot of support, and I check on him every day. I check on his mama. She still remembers me. She be talking crazy to me because she hasn't seen me. But she be like, bring your tail, boy. Bring where you at, boy. You understand? Like, she pop off on me every day, but it's all love. You understand? So I know you're going through it. My question is, how can I be in support of you? What can I do? I'm going to give you my email address, and you can answer that question offline. And brother, in any way, even if you just got to holler at me, like, hey, man, let me holler at you for a minute. And, you understand what I'm saying? Whatever I can do to support you. I get where you're coming from. You feel me?
I appreciate that, man,
I got you, man.
I'm going to let you get back to it, baby.
Hey,
go ahead and do your show, man.
Guess what you just did, though?
I just brought y'all to the sticks, man. I brought y'all to Arkansas.
Down to Arkansas. You know what it is. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. And for my brother, my email address is VOR106@gmail.com. That's VOR106@gmail.com. Shout out to Davey Lee. I'll holla.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
He gives another smile. Try to understand her side. To show that he cares. She can't stay in the room. She's consumed with everything that's been going on. She says, whatever happens, don't let go of my hand. Everything will be alright, he assures her, but she doesn't hear a word that he said. Preoccupied, she's afraid what they've been doing's not right. He doesn't know what to say, so he prays. Whatever happens, don't let go of my hand. Says, whatever happens, don't let go of my hand.
Hey, Tony Gaskins here, popping in. Won't be long before you tonight, Lord willing, cause my food on the way. I have not eaten for quite a few hours, so just checking in tonight. Just got home from soccer practice, okay? But you know, I was receiving some messages, and one thing it made me think about is really what we call the cutoff game, and where you could cut somebody off. And that's the number one thing that I really see so many women struggling with. And you got to think about it, like how many men do you see struggling with their cutoff game? 1 out of 10. You know, most men, you make him mad, you getting cut off immediately. Silent treatment, then it go to silent treatment, then it go to distance, then it go to talk to you every now and then it go to you just cut off. You see what I mean? But with women, for whatever reason, and it's internal.
Nah. I love the brother, but you can't pander. I can't let you pander. Where's the empirical data to support what you're saying? Why do you think there's so many bottom hurt brothers out here now, tripping on women, hating on women? You can't, listen, man, you can't say that, bro. I know you want to grow your audience. I know. No disrespect. I know. Kevin Samuels had the model. I get it. What's the other brother that was married to the girl that was cheating on the girl that all the women was following because he was fluffy, kind of buff? What's the man's name? Come on. And then he got exposed for cheating on his woman, and then they came together and sat down. Derek Jackson. Come on. I just see so many men, they have a stronger cutoff game than women. Are you kidding me? Come on, don't just say stuff. Cite your source so we can understand where this is coming from. We can't do relationships with the eye test. The people, he didn't even frame it that way. Like, well, the people I'm around, this is what I've seen in my experience. He's speaking with blanket license terms. Don't do that. Come on. Toxicity doesn't have a preferred gender. Okay? Goodness gracious. Oh, there go my niece, man. She be setting booby traps throughout the show because she knows once I hear it, I'ma pop off. Can't speak in absolutes, man. And I'm not saying there isn't a modicum of truth in what he's saying. Right? There's a little bit of something in there, but yo, bruh, I'm going to say women don't have as strong a cutoff game. Now, my experience might be totally different from his, right? And I'm pretty sure that it is. And I could say, well, from the women I've seen, their cutoff game is lethal. Right? But that doesn't make my perspective the universal truth. So we have to be careful, right? You can't do surgery with a butcher knife. It has to be skillful and exact. Right? You have to support what you're saying with some kind of, clinical, empirical research to make that kind of assumption. Right? And you guys remember, we talked about E prime, using English without is, the verbs is or to be. That's what scientists use because they really don't know what a thing is. Right? That's what the fourth dimensional mathematics are telling them. Like, language is not good enough to explain what reality actually is. So they've shifted to E prime, which was created by Alfred Korzybski's General Semantics. And he says is and verbs like is and to be create what he calls logical fallacies. And that was one. You can't just say men's cutoff game is better than women with no empirical support for that kind of assumption. And no disrespect to the brother. Back to my topic. The alchemy of leftovers. Can trust be reheated? The metaphor of relationship leftovers, those half-eaten emotional meals stored in the psychic freezer, invites a radical inquiry. Can time, like a cosmic microwave, transform old residue into a new feast? Or does reheating only amplify the rot? The answer lies not in the dish itself, but in the chef's willingness to respice reality. The thermodynamics of trust, once fractured, behaves like congealed fat, solidifying into crystalline structures that resist reliquefaction. Neuroscience reveals that betrayal etches itself into the insula, the brain's disgust center, right? Turning once comforting memories into biohazards. To reheat trust requires more than warmth. It demands molecular rearrangement. The Gottman Institute's trust metric shows that rebuilding requires a 5-to-1 ratio of repair attempts to injuries. Do you see? We need to create an alchemy that changes what was into something that has never been. Does that make sense? Flavor evolution versus mold. Marination, time, let's marinate on it. Come back later, a couple of years, versus mold. Leftovers improve when enzymes break down proteins into richer umami if stored properly. Relationships might follow similar biochemical rules. Marination period. Time apart allows emotional, disappointment to kind of just settle down a little bit, right? We have to learn how to tenderize resentment, right? Contamination risk, right? Unprocessed trauma grows into psychosomatic mold, projection, right? And repetition compulsion. It toxifies the dish. Listen, I start these conversations, but it's really up to you to finish them. We have to have deeper conversations about intimate relationships, or they will continue to be funhouse mirrors that are constantly reflecting the things we ignore. I'm the voice of reason. I'll be back tomorrow with another slapper. It's my Friday. I'm a holla.
KBLA